Alright, so the next thing is just properties of limits. So I'm gonna let you guys just read through this. Basically, we get to treat numbers like, or limits like numbers, all of that kind of good stuff. So just using this on an example is probably a little bit easier than just reading these. A says the limit as x approaches c of 5 times g of x. Well, it says that g of x is 3. So really, all this is 5 times 3, which, surprise, should be 15. The next one says we've got the limit of f of x plus g of x. Well, again, f of x is just 2. And then g of x is just 3. We're going to add those two answers together, which should be 5. Alright, then we've got f of x times g of x written right next to each other. So f of x is, again, 2. And this should be times g of x, which is 3. So all in all, we should get 6. Good deal. Next one, f of x divided by g of x. F of x should be 2 divided by g of x, which should be 3. So all in all, we get 2/3. It's not the worst thing in the world. Alright. Next thing that we're going to deal with is direct substitution, which is honestly something that people forget about by the end of this. It is one of the nicest things in the world. We can literally go in and substitute in what our actual x value is given to us to maybe try to find out what this is. So I'm going to have negative 1 squared plus 1, which should end up being 0. Cool. Plugging in 3, I get 3 plus 1 underneath that square root all over x minus, or 3 minus 4. Which should end up giving me just square root of 4, which is 2, over 3 minus 4 should give me negative 1, otherwise known as negative 2. Alright, so again, as x approaches 3, I plugged in 3 for x. As x approached 1, I plugged in 1 for x. Alright, the next one says, okay, whoa, what is happening? I hate when my page just randomly moves. Next one says, okay, I've got h is approaching 0. So again, that means now I need to plug in 0 for h, not in x. So now I've got 3 times 0 squared plus 2 times 0. Anywhere I see an h, I can plug in a 0, which again is going to give me this mythical magical 0. The next one, I've got h of, as h is approaching 0 again, so anywhere that I see an h, I'm going to plug in 0. In this one, we do actually have 2 different variables, which is going to come up a lot throughout this particular chapter or 2. So again, I'm just plugging in 0 for h. X's I am leaving alone. So I'd get 3x squared minus 2x times 0, because where there was an h, there's now a 0, plus 5 times 0. This is a substitution method. Yes, from way back in the day. Well, that 3x squared isn't going to get touched. It's not being multiplied by anything. 2x times 0, well, anything times 0 is just 0. And then 5 times 0, still 0. So all in all, I should just get 3x squared.